Hello and welcome to another episode of the Full Force Weekly, brought to you by Generals Joe's REBORN.com with me as your host, Christopher McLeod AKA Diagnostik80. For today's episode, I'm joined by the awesome Patrick Notpicard Stewart. In this regular video series, we round up all the week's news in the world of G.I. Joe. What is it, Pat?
It's the Full Force Weekly.
Woo! Yeah, it is. There it is. It's another week. It's another Full Force Weekly. How are you doing, Pat?
It's another week for sure. You know, I got through another one.
Check. Got another one off. Checked off the board. On to the next one.
How about yourself?
Yeah, ready, willing, and able to get through 99 slides worth of information today. Yes, it's been a busy old week, mainly in the classified arena, but we've also had HIYA news, and we've also had SUPERX news. You thought I was going to say Super 7, but I didn't say it. I said SUPEX. Well, I'll get into that a bit later on. It's been ridiculous, and I don't know where we get the time to do this. I genuinely don't. I don't know how I've managed to squeeze this in this week. We've even got new graphics.
Oh, hey. I actually hadn't noticed until now. That's cool.
How very dare you. It's like I've worn a beautiful new dress.
Is what the thing is. I'm so focused upon making sure that I'm being right and that I'm focused on what you're saying and listening to you. I'm paying attention.
Whatever.
So I don't notice things.
In any case, what do you guys think in the comments? What do you think the what's it called? The graphics relate to? Yes, Tim, correct. It's like immediately. You're absolutely 100% Tim. It is Bushido. So yeah, thanks to no, you get a no prize for that. I should have run some sort of competition there, shouldn't I? That's what we should do. Every time we change the graphics, we run a competition to see who can guess what they are first. That's what we should do.
Then you'd have
too
to
late now.
Happens a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, it happens every time there's a season change. Yes, this is winter time. Bushido is a snow ninja, so it seemed to make sense. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, it does make sense. Yes, I agree.
So thanks to Brian Sauer, our wonderful graphics man, for doing that. And also, obviously, he'll get a shout out later, so whatever. But yeah, we've got loads to get through, Pat, so we should probably start cranking through it. Thanks to everyone in the comments already. Loads of comments coming through. Jeremy says, Pat is Rebel scum, is what I think.
I am. I'm Rebel scum today.
Rebels what? Just kidding. Right, next... Next, we have news bursts to get through. What's first, Pat? It's SUPERX.
SUPERX.
I like that we tried
for the video.
Workout clothing brand SUPERX have announced that they will be revealing a G.I. Joe themed activewear range in January of 2024. The teaser on the website shows 2 workout hoodies for Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow, and I would expect there will be a lot more to come in January based on other ranges they've done in the past. You can get early access to the reveals by following the link in the description below. Indeed. I love our banter. It's so funny. I would watch this show just for our ridiculous mess before we go into some sort of next video. I think it's great. Right, Pat. Activewear, SUPERX. This was a little out of left field, wasn't it?
Yeah, the stuff looks really nice, but
it does, doesn't it?
It does. But as always, I'd be curious to see what somebody says after they buy it, before I buy it.
Well, there is I imagine it's going to be very similar to what they've already released in the past. We have Marvel, DC, Power Rangers, all sorts of different, activewear ranges and brands that they already do. And there's actually a few groups that kind of, in Facebook that talk about it as well. So I think you're probably going to get very similar, or you're pretty good information on this clothing and this range before it really comes out. You'll be able to know exactly what you're getting into, I think. But they look really nice. But again, I think I should have checked the website, but there is there are prices obviously on these. They're quite high end, I think. These hoodies specifically might be quite expensive.
I would kind of assume so, to be honest. I mean, if you're an online brand known for your quality materials, and then you end up adding a licensing fee to that. There's going to be some. Well, this is weird. I'm on the SuperX website right now. With GI Joe, it says no products found.
Yeah, they don't reveal them until January. So it's you have an early access link in the description, so you can kind of get up to date news when it drops. But I imagine they'll reveal some stuff prior to that. There'll be more teasers, I reckon, and then obviously in January 2024, that's when they're going to drop the actual product range. But you can kind of look at other products, like the Power Rangers one is probably a good one to go by, being another branded kind of situation. What are those hoodies running at, Pat? Can you tell? Can you see on there?
Well, I just left the website because it was clear that it wasn't going to give me any information.
Anyway, I do really like these. I think they're really cool, and I'm a bit of a sucker for Snake Eyes hoodies. As you can see, I'm actually wearing one.
Sorry, $119. I went back. It's $119 for the Power Rangers hoodies. Well,
I said it was high end. Did I not? So yeah, you'd probably be getting something very high quality. I mean, this one I'm wearing is about 80, I think. I forget the name of the company now. Again, I've done that twice now. Talked about these hoodies and their clothes, and completely forgotten the company. Anyway, Heroes and Villains. I don't know where that came from, but that's the name of the company, the one that I'm wearing anyway. And this was about 80. So I'm not really surprised at that, but that is quite high end. Chad says I will wait for these to hit Ollie's and Ross. Funny. Brilliant. Anyway, that's SuperX. Like I said, January is when they're going to be revealing their range. That's pretty. I mean, would you be interested? I know you kind of mentioned a little interest here, but would you be interested in these?
They're really going to have something to blow me away to get me to spend $120 on these.
Kitty said, "Yep, no worries." Like they do your taxes for you or something. That kind of thing,
right? Especially at the time that they'll be hitting. Yes.
They might have to with the price that they are. Right. Anyway, yes, that is SuperX Activewear. Like I said, you'll find out in January exactly what you're dealing with. Let's move on to the next news topic, which is HIYA Toys.
Another week, another HIYA Toys reveal. This time it's the Joe's most enigmatic Marine, Gung Ho, who joins the exquisite mini-series of 4-inch figures. He follows that early classified cardback artwork design with the blue vest and comes with all the same accessories as the classified version, with the addition of some extra hands and that Dio figure stand, of course. He will be dropping in Q3 of 2024 at a cost of $24.99.
Yeah, pretty standard issue on all that information, but I think I expected this one, but I'm still surprised at the fact they've done it. It's weird, isn't it? Like I keep having these, I was surprised they did the Baroness with the purple hair, but it was on the cards. I was surprised they did Storm Shadow. Well, although Storm Shadow was the first surprise out of the gate, really, for me in the HIYA Toys line. But are you happy they're kind of again delving into that kind of the classified cardback art decos?
Yeah, for sure. This is actually what I would have said, hey, please give me that. If you would have said they're going to do a Gung Ho, I would have, I'm enjoying that we're getting the classified designs in 4-inch form, but I also am enjoying that we are actually getting what was kind of the earlier one. And Gung Ho's a weird one because to me, I still kind of think that this figure would have been more popular, the classified figure would have been a little bit more popular from the start with the blue vest. So I don't know why that was changed.
Yeah, that is a good point. I remember when it first came out, there was a lot of talk about, changing the color of the vest and all that kind of stuff. And I think I did two kind of like Photoshop versions of that. Like when the promo images came out, I did a Gaucho with like the red kind of vest, and I did like a teal one for the Gung Ho. Because Gaucho Gung Ho. Yeah, that's why I said Gung Ho. Obviously, it's Gung Ho, but and they kind of look really good. I thought in that classified design with those colors. And in actual fact, I got a Gaucho custom done with that Gung Ho figure.
Shout out to Corey Godfrey, who sent me that. Much appreciated, buddy. And it was really, really cool. Anyway, yeah, this one is another interesting one. We've got another head sculpt here, mate. What do you think of the head sculpt on this particular figure?
You know, I haven't really spent that much time looking at it, but it looks pretty good.
Yeah, he's grimacing by the looks of things, and he's only got the one head. So you're going to get him always in that kind of vibe.
Yeah, it is not a neutral pose, that's for sure. But
he ain't chill, is he, on this one? But no, I think this is a pretty good one. I quite like it. And again, I like the fact that we're getting those little details that were missed. Not missed, but changed, should we say, when it came to the final production classified figure.
It comes with the same non-removable hat, right?
I don't think so. Yeah, it doesn't show that it's a removable hat. It might say in the copy, but I don't know 100%.
Yeah, I would think in the accessory loadout they'd be showing us the hat by itself if it was.
Yeah.
So most definitely not.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, spare hands. You've got the same. I think this. Yeah, it's the same three blasters and backpack that you got in the classified series, and that Dio stand. Yeah, this is a nice one. Nice addition. He's got a nipple caught in his zipper, says Mark as well. Yeah, he has. I think he has. That's why his face is doing that. Yeah, I get it now. Understood. Rachel says, not a fan of the face sculpt. They put a lot of detail into the torso, but none on the arms. Let's have a look at that. Yeah, you got a point there. There's obviously a lot of kind of muscle definition going on the old body. But then, yeah, the arms do look a little smooth, don't they?
Yeah. Again, I still don't have any of these in hand.
Yeah. Yeah. Are they on the way, or are they still in that kind of pre-order phase?
They're in the pre-order phase because all the stuff of the website that had like them available for order. Well, you know, I'd ordered ones that were in stock.
Yeah.
Got refunded because they never shipped them. So now I've ordered some of them that are just on pre-order. So it's just a waiting game now. Hopefully they actually ship this time.
Fingers crossed. Anyway, yeah, that's Gung Ho, HIYA Toys. Add it to the list. What are we now at? 13, 14 deep? Man, It is every week.
It is.
Without fail.
So who do you think is next? Alley Viper, maybe?
Alley Viper's a good shout. I'm going to go with... We haven't had the Viper yet, have we?
No. That'd be a good one.
You go Alley Viper, I'll go Viper. We'll see who gets it next week.
Okay, we'll see.
This is a fun game. Guess the higher reveal every single week. It is quite astonishing though that they are revealing at the amount.
And the fact that they're getting so ahead of themselves. Like they've got way more reveals now than they have delivered. It's feeling like a shrunken down version of the early classified stuff.
Why are they copying everything that classified do? Why are they doing it? I don't understand. It's that now. They're also going to copy distribution, which would be well, actually, their distribution is way more like strict. I don't know. It's harder to get these. Really hard to get.
It is harder to get these. Yeah.
Anyway, 77T John says, what's the best place to order these? I think cooltoys.com. Is that the name of it, Pat?
There was it was called cooltoysclub.com.
Thank you.
Well, I can't say that is the best place because, again, they haven't delivered yet for me anything. But
was it Hobby Link is another one, and Robot Kingdom, I think.
Yes.
They're another couple that you might want to try out.
But Cool Toys Club has good reviews. I just can't personally say that they've delivered me anything because everything's on pre-order. So,
yeah. Cool. Right then. Well, that is HIYA Toys Gung Ho. We are ripping through it today because I swear we've got more slides than a water park today, Pat. Yeah. Anyway, right, here we go. Next up is lots and lots of classified news.
My goodness, what a week for Classified. As the His Tanks started their distribution in the US, we got a bunch of rumours regarding a possible Classified Snowcat and Thunder Machine in the works, and then we had a series of leaks prior to the Hasbro Pulse G.I. Joe fan stream revealing the figures that would be going up for pre-order the following day. Thursday's stream didn't disappoint with name-only reveals for Starduster, Nemesis Immortal, the artist formerly known as Enforcer,
Xandar and Leatherneck. 9 pre-orders also smashed us in the wallets, with Big Boa, Quick Kick, Airborne and the Techno Viper as the now standard 4-figure wave, Retro Duke, Scarlet and Recondo, and of course the 60th anniversary Action Soldier Infantry and Action Sailor Recon Diver. Surely the last pre-orders of the year now, because I don't think I can physically manage anything else until 2026.
I know, that was that was like a real, like, oh, did you forget about Classified for a couple of weeks? Don't, because here's some pre-orders. Have that, and then punch you in the face with it, with a Big Boa punch. Anyway, lots to talk about here, Pat. First off, just a quick comment on it. But the HIS tanks are shipping. I got my, I think my date is Tuesday that mine's turning up. Have you had yours yet? Your kind of shipping information?
No, that's what I was just looking where that video brought up the shipping of the HIS tanks, and I still don't see anything.
That sucks. You might have to reach out then and see what's going on, because I got mine for Tuesday. Then again, there's a lot to get through. So yeah, I imagine you'll get something at some point soon.
Oh wait, no, here it is. I finally found it. So I've got this.
Quick question. Sorry, I've done that again. Quick question from a toy kind of mood. Is it hi Travis? I imagine it's Travis. Are you a Chicago Bulls fan, Chris? I don't think I ever asked, lol. I grew up in the 90s. I was a huge Michael Jordan fan. And then I ended up playing semi-professional basketball myself in the United Kingdom for the Fury, the Kings Lynn Fury. So, I was a huge Chicago Bulls fan and have kind of been ever since, even though they've pretty much sucked ever since. But yeah, there you go. There's a quick answer to that question. And Toy Bounty Hunter, I posted this by accident while I was clicking on that one, but we'll come to this one because it's, there you go. I'm watching you all while waiting for my HIS to arrive. Awesome. I'm recording this right now with Pat, and you're watching, waiting for my HIS to arrive on Tuesday. Does that count? Probably not. Cotswold Collectibles says Michael Gene Fleming was carrying at least a few of the HIYA Toys figures. Thank you,
Oh,
Michael.
really?
Yeah, for that. Appreciate that. I did see them post a couple of links in the past to that stuff. So yeah, to the HIYA Toys stuff. So thank you, Michael, for mentioning that. Right, let's talk. Jordan is the greatest. Thank you, Paisano777. I'm a huge Jordan fan. Anyway, let's talk stuff. First thing we need to talk about are the classified vehicle rumors, Pat. That kind of popped out of it's Chad's YouTube channel, and I did do a report on this one, like a news burst about this one, and discussed them kind of like as in I don't know, yay or nay, but I'm not kind of poo-pooing Chad's information in any way, shape, or form. So we kind of speculated on what we could expect to see with a Snowcat and a Thunder Machine. Start with the Snowcat. Is this a vehicle you think they can do at this scale in kind of a not retail space, you know what I mean, in a non-HasLab environment?
I do. I think a lot of what makes the HIS tank so expensive was all of the additional details that they put into it in the electronics. I don't think that, obviously looking at the Vamp, I think that we could go a little more expensive than that and it'll still sell. $100 I kind of thought was pretty good for the Vamp. I was expecting it to be more than that.
Big time. In fact, when we had the information, when we had the listing information come through and I saw that price, I was like, that's got to be a mistake. That's got to be a mistake. Like, there's no way you can do a Vamp and a figure for that price. And when it came out, I was like, okay, they have. And I think one of the things is, getting that balance of bringing the price down when they think they've got something that's going to sell a lot of units, I guess, and bringing the price down when in other areas they're saving elsewhere, maybe. Do you know what I mean? Like, so there's probably a budget balancing act going on where something can be done in that sense.
That's possible. It feels more like I don't know. It feels more like they did more cutting on one item in order to make another item more expensive in the vintage line than they are here, because they've really charged us whenever they've added in just a couple of accessories to a figure like Kamakura. You know, I kind of thought that was too expensive for what it was. But, you know, they were saying, well, a few more accessories, that's going to cost. So it felt a little nickel and diming a little bit to me. So when I saw the price on the Vamp, it was like, really? And it was good news, because you see the price of the Vamp, you can assume that we're going to be getting something that size a few times over.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking, well, maybe this one's a little bit more complex. It might be a bit bulkier. There's more, like, you know, you've got the half track thrown in there. You've got kind of multiple weapon systems. You've got the cockpit. You've got, I mean, it's 2-seater, just like the Vamp as well. But you'll probably have like a working, you know, windscreen wiper as well. Not that that's like crazy difficult to do. You know what I'm saying? It's not like actually working. Like, you can go in there and turn the little thing on and it goes, but squirt a bit of water on there as well. But I think this might maybe crest 100 or get a little bit closer to maybe like 120. Would you say, or do you think they'll probably keep it in that price point for 100?
Well, that's why I kind of don't want to even say that it's a price point. It just feels like they're sizing the price according to what they want to profit based on what they put into that specific item.
Yeah,
I kind of feel like they're just counting the cost and putting it where it is. And to be honest, with the addition of doors, and if there's a Stinger with the missiles and all the other pieces, it's entirely possible that the repaints of the Vamp won't be $100.
Yeah.
So this, I look at it and I think, yeah, you know, it's about the size of the Vamp, but with maybe a little bit of a stretch. I don't know that. I don't know. Would we need working treads?
Ray Murphy just said that, and I feel like, yes, at that scale, I feel like we do. I feel like we do need working treads on that.
I kind of feel like we do too. Yeah.
Could Hasbro get away with not having functioning track treads for the classified Snowcat like the original to keep costs down to be more palatable for general retail? I don't know. I think I personally would be disappointed. Like, I was really excited that when we saw the Vamp, it had squidgy tires. Do you know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah, because I was kind of half expecting, and again, it was based on the price point, and my expectations were based on, well, you know, what, $99.99. What are they going to do to basic that Vamp up? In order, you know, is it just going to be a shell with like plastic wheels attached? Do you know what I mean? Like, I didn't know what I thought. I didn't think we were going to be getting something as like complex and, you know.
Did you say you were disappointed when you saw the tires?
No, not at all. I was very happy to see that we got rubber tires. Okay. So I would be disappointed if we didn't get a half track that worked on the Snowcat. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, my expectation for the Vamp was low, but now it's like raised because of those other items that were part of the Vamp. So now I'm kind of thinking it kind of has to have functioning treads. And I don't think that would be too difficult.
Yeah, no, I don't think so either. I mean, whether or not they're made of just a big, you know, band of rubber, or if they're individual links. Well, individual links, it gets to be difficult. But yeah, I don't think that it'd be crazy difficult for this to be that way. I also kind of think that they've, at this point, made enough Arctic Joes to finish this out, because technically there's Snake Eyes, right? And there's Snow Job. So that's two. You've got, that's enough.
And then you got Frostbite, who I would imagine would come with
that.
Could you imagine? Imagine if they didn't put Frostbite in it, put Whiteout in there instead or something.
Yeah, that's what I didn't even mention that, because I just assumed that it will have him.
And then we have to have a Tiger Cat, do we not? With a Tiger Force Frosty.
Yeah, that's true, for sure. So that even increases the likelihood of this being done. Like, the fact that there's a repaint that everybody's ready to buy waiting around the corner. I don't think we're going to be demanding, what was it, the Devastator for Street Fighter? What that thing was called?
I think so. Or the Basilisk.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Remember that?
Neither one of those. Or the
Mark II, the Havoc
Mark II. Yeah, no Havoc Mark II out of this.
Although someone did mention you could do that. Beast Blaster, says Viper Scout, but wasn't that the Thunder Machine?
That was a Thunder Machine.
Yeah. So, yeah, the Devastator was the Snowcat repaint and the Beast Blaster was the Thunder Machine, yeah. Speaking of Beast Blaster, I tell you what, isn't that quite interesting, Pat, that both vehicles that have been announced are also in the Street Fighter lineup?
As is the Vamp. So that's 3 potentials for them to do Street Fighter.
Tell me we're getting the Street Fighter classified figures, because I would absolutely poop my underdrawers if that was the case.
You know what? It would be just as it was whenever those came out. A lot of people just would not accept that along with their G.I. Joes. But then, because they were made as G.I. Joes are, they would be good figures.
Yeah,
and they would
absolutely.
sell.
I would hope they would do all the details on Zangief's robot legs.
Oh, no. No.
All of the little robot leg details for Zangief. There's other bonkers reuse in there as well, isn't there? That doesn't make any sense. But still, yeah. I think, yeah, I'm only joking. There's tongue in cheek. And Jada Toys do make some amazing. You're right, Pastor Pierogi. Yeah, Jada Toys might not like that, but yeah, their figures are fantastic. They look great. Anyway, Dreadnought Thunder Machine, pretty cool. I mean, no brainer. This one I could definitely see in that kind of Vamp. I keep saying price point, but you know what I'm saying. But again,
Yeah,
there are some elements. There are some fun elements you could put into this, but it's not as complex as, say, the Snowcat, in my opinion. There's not like you need some crazy engineering on some treads, but you can have little, barrels that twist when you pull the ammo through. That would be kind of fun, wouldn't it, actually?
Yeah, and the other thing that I also think of with these larger vehicles is I want the front wheels to be able to turn.
Yeah, the Vamp doesn't do that, I don't think.
Really?
I don't think it does. I don't think the front wheels turn on the Vamp. I think they went with the suspension and went with that over the wheels turning. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, I would rather see that. Yeah, I kind of feel like it needs that because sometimes when a vehicle's just posed, it's posed with the wheels tilted.
Yeah.
But I'm looking and you're right. I don't see any indication that the Vamp does that.
I think we got it confirmed from Lenny, actually. I think I messaged him on a burst at some point. I believe he confirmed that they went with the suspension over the wheels turning. Speaking of Lenny and Emily, we'll be speaking to them next week, hopefully, fingers crossed. And we'll be getting our second part of that very awesome interview finished, which has now got to the point where we've had to pile on about 50 other things. There's no way we're going to cover everything that I want to cover with them in half an hour. It's just not going to happen. So we'll try and do as much as we can do on the next interview. But yeah, we also kind of have to move on and keep current and keep topical. So it's difficult going back and talking about stuff that we could have talked about in the last one. But, by the by, we will be speaking to them next week. Now, also, funny story, actually, and I talked to Pat about this beforehand, but I've been waiting on approvals to post 2 interviews that have been done, edited, and ready for the past week or so, and in some cases 2 weeks. And it's just taking a long time to get approval. Once we do get approved, they'll go up. And interestingly enough, I'm still waiting on approval from Super 7, even though they shared the video already on their Twitter page. So I don't know what happened there, but it's not listed yet. So hopefully as soon as I get the all clear, I'll post both of those interviews. One is with Kerry Vandenberg from the Wrath of Cobra video game, which was great fun talking with Kerry on that one. And also, like I said, Brian Flynn, all about the O-ring stuff and the mothership and lots of other cool stuff as well in there too. So hopefully I get approval before like today, for example. Otherwise, it's going to go out and the mothership thing's going to finish. So it's going to be kind of oddly after the fact. So yeah, anyway, we'll sort that out. Also, with a Toy Kind of Mood in the chat, I will be appearing on their channel as well on Saturday. to discuss. And we'll talk about that in the shout-outs, but I'll be talking about all of the cool reveals we've had over the last couple of days. Now, what we're talking about the Thunder Machine, Pat, are you into this one? Would this be a cool one?
Yeah, and again, what I was saying about the Snowcat works out for this as well, as far as having plenty of figures to put on it. We're definitely getting our Dreadnoks.
Oh,
like that's happening. So I think that we can pretty much fill this thing already.
We can. Torch, eventually. Ripper, Buzzer.
Road Pig. Zorana, Zartan.
Although I don't think Road Pig was in like not name only. What's the word? Rumored. Rumored Road Pig. Rumored Heart Wrencher.
Right.
So Heart Wrencher can get in there too. Torch, Buzzer, Ripper, Zartan, Zorana, and I guess that Thrasher would be with this as well. 9
was Xandar also?
Oh, Xandar got that. Yeah, we could talk about that in a little. Naugahyde 11.
In Naugahyde, yeah,
11.
That's a lot of Dreadnoks. You're right.
We've gone from 2 name only reveals eventually with Buzzer and Ripper to 11 Dreadnoks in the space of a year, less than a year.
Yeah, that's really fast. Actually, there's not a ton left. It's like Monkey Wrench and Zanzibar.
Yeah, and Spanner, who's in the co-pilot seat there of the passenger seat of the Thunder Machine.
Spanner?
Yeah, Monkey Wrench's repaint that I've named Spanner, who I want to be.
Okay.
It's not official. That's just me being an idiot. Oh, Rachel, I can actually answer this question for you. Chris, can you ask Len Emily, is Joe product at Ross and Ollie's a result of COVID distribution issues or something else? Will it affect future classified production numbers? I can explain that all they're doing, Rachel, are clearing out their storage scenario in order to fill it with all the new stuff that's coming in. So effectively, if you think of the increase in pre-orders, in product coming out, in the 1 year's worth of product in 6 months scenario, they made a decision to catch up with the plan that they had, the plan of action they wanted to get to, over just being where they are and going from there, if that makes sense. So they decided to kind of compress that into a small amount of time. But the problem is when you do that and you create more product, it means that you either have an unlimited storage scenario, which nobody does, not even Hasbro, and they need to clear out. So all of that stuff that went on clearance was a literal warehouse clearance scenario. So it's as simple as that. So I hope that helps, and I hope that answers that question. I will probably run it by them just to see if there's an official word on it, but that's effectively what the situation is. Funky Stench, says Sammy Delco, is a cool name for that particular figure. Monkey Wrench, Funky Stench, I like it. Anyway, there's more Dreadnoks than Cobras, says Ray. There is. You should, that feels like it.
We're going to get to a point where there won't be any Dreadnoks to make, and I'll feel sad.
Burnout has got to happen, right?
Yeah, Burnout still needs to happen.
Rugrat.
Yeah.
Was he called Rugrat?
Yeah, there's
the one that was in that frontline issue, and then
along with Heart Wrencher and
Naugahyde. Yes.
Death Metal. There's
Chaos.
Do we really want
Billy Bob?
Yeah.
The Dreadheads. Yeah.
No.
Of course we do.
We want those. You want them?
Of course we do. Just repaints and head swaps, right?
I mean, it would have to be a 3-pack at least.
Hang on. What's the guy's name that reused all of Naugahyde and Zangief's head?
That's Crusher.
Right. It was right there. Demolisher. Harrison. Yeah. Sorry. I've done this video. I did the Naugahyde video, and it was Crusher, wasn't it? Dreadnought
really,
Crusher.
What we need those is Ninja Force Zartan.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Ninja Force Monkey Wrench for a second there.
Why? Maybe
Because
that's
it makes
maybe that's who what did he say? Funky Stench.
Ninja Force Funky Stench.
Yes.
Because, Pat, if Road Pig can be a Ninja Commando, Monkey Wrench can be a Ninja Force member.
Hey, I still don't know what being a Ninja Commando means. Maybe you just are a commando hunting ninjas.
Ooh. Ooh. I don't know why I turned into like an old woman from a British comedy series from the 70s then. Ooh. Amazing. Brilliant. Right, that's Thunder Machine. Very excited. And then we get Thresher. So yeah, if this is, I'm, I've got to throw out, it's still speculative, it's still a rumor, but I'm going to go ahead and say I'm all for both of these. Please and thank you very much. Yes, and that's going to be one hell of a reveal day when they pull that bad boy out and they're showing off all the cool stuff. Also, Pat, here's a little bit of trivia for you. Do you know what that yellow, that kind of dome kind of looking light thing is in the middle of the windscreen that's got like a little yellow dot on it?
That is a good piece of trivia because I don't really know. I would just be taking a guess.
Go have a guess, and I'll tell you what it really is. Don't look at the comments because they will answer it immediately.
Oh, so everybody knows but me? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, everyone in this entire comment section probably knows as well right now. If they watch
a police spotlight?
I thought it was a halogen. I thought, yeah, like a big police spotlight. I thought the same thing. But no, it's actually an infrared tracker.
Yeah, I'm not seeing that in the comments now.
No, because no one cares or remembers.
An infrared tracker. Are you going off just like the blueprints where they're making up cool things to have for it to have?
Of course I am. Of course I'm going off the. Of course I'm going off the made up bull or BS blueprint scenario. But yes, that's exactly what I'm doing. Why do I always put B instead of N? A thunder machine is what I put in the thing here. But yeah, the exact description for that thing is a high noon. No, it's not that at all. It's an infrared target acquisition scanner is the full name for it.
Okay.
Pretty
I'm
cool,
wondering,
right?
though, like, how far are these going to be spaced out? Because I'm not complaining. I'm just curious because, we started off just getting motorcycles. So we knew that couldn't last forever because there's only so many of them to be done.
And we still haven't had the Silver Mirage. Well,
yeah. And that's fine for them to wait a little bit on the Silver Mirage, I think. But, we got the coil cycle first, but then the RAM, and we're getting the Feret. So it seems to be, upgrading, but with the thought that classified series stuff is going to be a little more spread out across 2024, it does seem like, getting these two vehicles and even what we're going to be getting into in a minute, you've got the classified figures, but then on top of that 60th and on top of that retro. So I'm just wondering, is there a truth to, well, what is the situation we're looking at in 2024? Is it fewer classified things, but still the same amount of G.I. Joe because of the addition of 60th and retro being mainline retail? Or are we actually going to have less stuff on pre-order in 2024 than we did in 2023?
I can't answer that question like fully, as I'm sure you can understand why. But like from what I can gather, there's still a crap ton of stuff coming in 2024. I just think it's going to be spread out in a more, it might be a lot more in each of the, like, this is the thing. It might be one of those things where it's like, it's under $100. It's $99.99. It might be that kind of thing where it's like, it looks from the surface that, or from the, from what you're looking at that, oh yeah, there's going to be less things. But in actual fact, it's just spread out more. And in those moments that you get those, pre-orders or whatever, they increase that number, but you don't really notice it because it's more spread out. Do you know what I mean?
I could totally understand that.
But I don't, honestly, I'm going to have to write this. I'm going to have to write some of it down, look at it and go, and base it off like stats and data from last year.
Honestly, we won't really know until the year's over.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Have they got another pre-order thing coming next week, maybe? I don't know, because some people think they have. Some people think on the 13th there's another pre-order drop. Could you imagine if there was another one? Like, and I mean, we've still got a few things that are floating around. We've still got the SMS with the Techno Viper. We've still got, what else have we still got? I don't know, actually, if there's anything else we do have. But, you know, there's a few other things that are floating around that you could think, oh, maybe there could be a couple more things before the end of the year, which would be absolutely insane, in my opinion. But, you know, we'll see.
Yep,
we will
we
see.
Shall see.
And we'll be talking about it next week if there is. So there you go. Anyway, that is that, which is the, again, shout out to It's Chad's YouTube channel. I've been in contact and we've been chatting about some stuff. So yeah, thank you for that information, Chad. Again, don't know, and I can't confirm nor deny it at the moment. I can't confirm it, is what I'm saying. So just excited that if it is true, that would be amazing. Feret, says Mark. Yes, that is another one, isn't it, that's floating around. True. So the Feret, the SMS with the Techno Viper, I don't know. It's a possibility before the end of the year.
Yeah, that's true. That is
anyway.
True.
Now, shout out to Emily, Lenny, and Tony, who gave us another brilliant. I love their live streams. I really do. They're so. I
really
much fun.
Enjoyed this one myself. Yeah,
aren't they great? Like, I don't know. I just really enjoy their banter and how much they enjoy these. Clearly, they do enjoy them, obviously. So I was really, really impressed with this one again. Now it's a lot of pre-orders, mate. A lot of pre-orders. They didn't do what's the word? They didn't do digital renders for this one, which actually I was really happy about because I've still got 2 Let's Talk Classified videos to do that I haven't done yet, and I was desperately scared that they were going to show off Raptor or Iron Grenadiers because I was like, I'm not ready yet. I've got to do those videos first, please. So anyway, no digital renders. But we did get 4 name-only reveals to kick us off, mate. And we'll start with another one that was, let's face it, was in that conversation we had last week from the rumors. It's Starduster. How excited are you for this figure, Pat? Because I'm really excited for this one.
I am. And did Lenny say something about special packaging for this one?
I wish I'd paid more attention. I was multitasking at the time.
He said something weird whenever it came time for that, like that we would be excited for something.
Interesting. If anyone in the comments knows what Lenny said specifically, let us know in the comments so we can talk about that, because I can't. This is the thing. When I watch it, I'm like so desperately trying to get screenshots so that I can expedite the process of the live stream. That it just gets to the point where I can't soak it all in. So please let us know in the comments. He did mention cereal related something, says John Cremians. Thanks, John. Cereal related stuff. That would be freaking awesome. Like a little cereal box with the figure would be so much fun.
Yeah, something like that. Or I guess anything like part of that standard 80s, like what they show as part of the balanced breakfast that I don't think any kid ever actually sat down with when you sat down to eat cereal. For me, it was always just, I'm going to eat my cereal. I didn't have like half of an orange and like a glass of milk to go along with the cereal with milk in it.
I will say though,
orange juice to go along with your half an orange or whatever it was that they had.
I will say though, I grew up with my mum, obviously. So my mum, Sue McLeod, who would make my breakfast and like would still do it to this day if I was living there right now, because that's how she rolls. Shout out to Mom. But it would be like, this is what I'd get in the morning: a tray, usually either G.I. Joe tray or a Turtles one, right? With as a 20, 30, 40 plus year old, not kidding, bowl of cereal with fruit to go with it. So like, grapes. I have grapes on cereal as well. They're amazing, by the way, if you ever get the opportunity. Stunning cereal. And then also toast or a bagel or 2. She usually made 2 bagels for me. And what she would do is she would do what's known as, have you ever had an egg banjo? Do you know what an egg banjo is?
No.
Okay, so an egg banjo, I think it's a forces nickname from the UK forces. My dad used to call it, and I think they picked up that way. But they call it an egg banjo because you bite into it, all of the sauce and the egg comes out on your top, and you do this.
Oh.
So it looks like you're playing a banjo, right? You're holding you like that. See? Well, anyway, that's what they call it. They call it an they call it an egg banjo. So she'd make like toasted with like this, almost like an omelette. Basically, it's like an egg kind of scenario folded up with usually with daddy's sauce on it. And I would have all of this, coffee or tea, depending on what era it was that I was partaking, and probably even orange juice. And that would be on a tray every morning. Can you believe that? You probably can believe that. I'm a bit of a spoiled brat.
No, it's cool. Yeah.
Good point, Sean. No, Mom's amazing. And yeah, shout out to Mom. Daddy's sauce, Adam. Yeah, Daddy's sauce is like a brown sauce. It's called Daddy's. Literally, that's the brand name, I think. Anyway.
Okay. Yeah, no, I just looked up egg banjo. There's a lot of different takes on what an egg banjo looks like.
Ryan says, I have not understood half of what Chris said for about a minute. Anyway, I'll do a whole episode next time I'm in the UK and we'll have a look. Yeah, there you go. Anyway, so that's that's that. The thing, a lot of people are saying that he wasn't super specific, Lenny, but there was a couple of moments where he mentioned what was it? Special. He said something special, says Gil. He wasn't super specific. He did mention yeah, so it's something special, I think, was the thing that he said.
Well, it could be the packaging, or it could be like, I remember the last time they were excited about something special with a figure. It was Sergeant Slaughter, coming with a little Sergeant Slaughter. So maybe it's something akin to that, where it will be him, but maybe he will come with a cereal box, or a balanced breakfast,
or an egg banjo.
An egg. I don't think he's coming with an egg banjo. No. Well, I mean, maybe. I really don't know.
Anyway, shout out to Mom and Dad for that. Right, yeah. So Stardust is a big shout. Now, another thing, I was doing a burst about this a while back when the Stardust name came up initially. I did a live, response to that rumor, and Paul Pamphilone, Plastic Battles, shout out to Paul. In the comments, he mentions how cool it would be if, because obviously you've got the jump pack. How cool would it be if Stardust came with the platform as well? And that platform could double as a helipad for the Dragonfly. And I was just like, oh my God, that's like almost too good to be true, isn't it? Like, could you imagine a thing like, how they're doing like the SMS with the Hiss tank sort of thing, right? Would it be beyond the realms of possibility to get a figure like this that came with something that went with the Dragonfly?
I don't think it'd be beyond possibility, because I think that we talked about this last week, I think, where I said that I think that you could do that if you sectioned it off and had it be something that was, buildable. And honestly, if you had that be buildable and then it had like the little computer station thing off the control station off the side of it, like the jetpack jump landing pad did.
Yeah.
That probably, all of that would probably fit in something about the size of a cereal box. And it's not like they're not doing crazy things like that, because even right now at Target, there is the Stranger Things Transformer that comes in a pizza box. So
yeah. So Viper Scout said, doesn't Dragonfly come with a helicopter pad? Don't think so. Comes with a stand. Comes with like a flight stand, and then I don't think there's anything else like that with it. But anyway, I just thought, like, when he was kind of describing it, I was like, oh God, that would be really cool, because then you'd have like a jump pad and you'd have like a little landing spot to display, or like Dio kind of scene situation as well. Like, so anyway, by the by, I can't wait to see what they have in store for Starduster. I know, like, in terms of the figure, it's not, I mean, you can probably build it in your head anyway, like this, it's a kit bash from what we already have.
but that doesn't bother me too much because I mean, you could also, I mean, he's going to have a different head sculpt. I mean, that's definite because it clearly is the point that they make specific characters have different head sculpts. That's clear. Like even to the point where Glenda and Scarlet have different head sculpts. Do you know what I mean? Like that was almost like so a lot of people thought they were going to have, they're going to share the same kind of head, and it's like they don't do that with Classified, really, do they?
They haven't so far that I can think of. So I would expect it to be new, but if you really look at it, the art for Starduster was Duke's face, and they just made a Duke that has not, they just revealed a Duke that has not only that helmet but also the visor.
Yeah, totally.
But yeah, I expect it to be a new head, but the rest of it just being existing parts, and that's going to make it a lot more affordable for them to even do it. So yeah, maybe we could get that. Maybe that's how they're squeezing in that extra item that's special, is that there's not as much cost going into this.
Yeah, I just don't think we're gonna get a head reuse for a
I don't think so either.
Different character. I don't think they'll ever do that. I think that's like something that is like a no in their kind of like design,
approach.
Yeah. Words. Anyway, Starduster, very excited. Let's move on quickly to Nemesis, the artist formerly known as Enforcer Immortal. Now, Nemesis Immortal was revealed, and this is another one of the characters that came up in that kind of like list very recently of rumored classified figures. Isn't that a surprise, Pat?
Right.
There were a lot of people saying that they didn't believe that list was real. But what I was trying to tell you with my winky wink eyes was that we knew it was legitimate. So there you go. Nemesis Immortal. We've talked about this as well already because we talked about this, the rumor. Now that it's a reality, are you happy?
Well, yeah, because I love this character. I just am really still curious. Like Nemesis Enforcer is such a specific name, and I googled it yesterday. There actually is a video game where there's a character named Nemesis Enforcer, but it wasn't around back whenever they called him Nemesis Immortal the first time.
25th, yeah.
So I don't know what's going on.
I personally think that maybe what's the word? I think maybe they let trademark lapse, and someone picked up and hasn't done anything with it yet.
Yeah, and whenever I did a trademark search, first of all, the trademark search looks entirely different than it did whenever I did a search like 6 months ago. But all kinds of stuff came up. So I was like, I'm not going to finish trying to look for this.
I've done my research. I would. Either way, I do love the fact that this is now kind of almost it's official now, so that's great. I really can't wait to see. This what they do with it, because, like you say, you said it's a unique character in terms of a figure design. It's going to have to be completely new. There's going to be no reuse anywhere. There's going to be a huge set of wings, I'd imagine. I don't know if it's going to be like 2 sets of wings, one open, one closed, or if he's going to have some sort of articulation. I mean, there's a lot of like question marks around this particular design, isn't there?
There's not any opportunity to reuse Serpentor parts here, is there?
Not really. And I think to a degree, I think this figure is going to have to be bigger than Serpentor.
Really?
Yeah. Rachel, I believe he is a deluxe figure. Just a little bit of extra information there.
Okay.
So
I don't really see them reusing anything from Serpentor either, because a lot of them has all that sculpted armor on. So yeah, it's going to have.
It's not even like there's a Night Force Nemesis Enforcer. It's not like there's like another repaint for him either, is there? Do you know what I mean?
Well, I was kind of thinking there could be, to be honest, because
toy cartoon.
Well, there's also, look at how the package art has the green on it.
Okay.
You could do one that doesn't have like those weird tentacle things that I still am not sure 100%. I think Adam had his idea, and I think it's right. But I don't I'm not entirely certain what those were for, but there are some things that you could do to plus him up a little bit and put him in a set. I don't think that's going to happen, though. I really think that this is going to be a one-off, and that they will cost him out as if they are never going to reuse that tooling again.
Yeah, and then just burn it. Yeah, I think, yeah, just to kind of reiterate there, Adam's idea with the tentacle things was that they were kind of, it was more of a generic use sort of accessory for the set, wasn't it? As opposed to, or like it's one that you throw on a figure and it kind of like, as if it's mimicking it being like capturing like a Joe or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, which very well could be the case. And I also wonder if maybe that was supposed to be a bendy, like Globulus is, if those tentacles were supposed to bend around a figure and that got dropped.
Yeah, it's possible.
There's a lot that looks like it got dropped from this set, like the cape also on the Royal Guards seems like something that should have been there.
Big time. Oh man, that would be so cool. An O-ring figure with a cape would be so cool, wouldn't it? Do you want me to send that message to Brian now?
Oh, yeah. I would love that.
Right, hang on. Brian, could you? That's amazing. Anyway, Nemesis Immortal is the official name for this particular one. And we'll be... I just think it's going to be... I think this one's going to be insane, and I can't wait to see it again. I don't know. Then we talked about the spikes last time, didn't we? About, you were saying, could they do retractable ones? And I think it's probably more likely we're going to get some sort of like fixed position switch out sort of situations, aren't we? Like either the blades come out,
just fixed position.
Yeah, either the blades come out or the gloves and the blades are attached together, and you take the hand off, if you know what I mean, to put on a new kind of like
I kind of just think that it's just going to be he'll have spikes on his elbows and that'll be that.
Yeah, that's true actually. We don't know, Diana, about the lost rights to Nemesis Enforcer, although Pat did mention that there was a computer game character, although it wasn't around the time of but then again, the people that created that might still have the trademark for it, though. That's the thing. Like, don't really know, do we?
It's possible if they registered that well before the game actually came out, because we've seen games take a long time to be released.
That's also very true as well. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's Nemesis Immortal. Next up, Xandar. Now, this was a surprise. This was the first time I'd heard this name utilized by the team. First time hearing that this was a figure that was in development, and this is pretty cool. And again, another Dreadnought, buddy.
Oh, yeah. I'm looking forward to this one. I'm really curious to see how they approach the accessory of the rifle dart, like bolt
I called it a sniper harpoon.
Yeah, I guess a harpoon gun makes more sense to call it that. Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah,
but it also looks like it just uses regular arrows.
Yeah, because he's got that little quiver as well. So do you think he's going to get a do you think there's going to be a quiver that's already in? Because there's so many quivers now. Do you think they'll just reuse one that's in the line already, or do you think they'll just do another one? Because they love doing that, don't they?
I don't know. They don't seem to like doing backpacks at all.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. So, even Scarlet's new quiver's on her thigh.
Yeah, but then she comes with a backpack, right?
She comes with a backpack. That's true. That's very true.
But they seem to want their backpacks to be multi-use more than other things.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I do want to see where they're going to go design-wise. It's going to be quite interesting. Are they going to, I imagine they'll stick as close as they can to what this design looks like. And I like the thought of, maybe doing a little bit more with the body art as well. Maybe going into more detail with it. I don't know. What would you prefer? They just stuck with the kind of lightning bolts, or would you like them to do something more like, dramatic and interesting and tattooy?
In general, I'm not a huge tattoo fan.
Oh, we talked about this, yeah.
Yeah. But it being Dreadnoks, that seems to be something characteristic of them. I honestly think that the reason why Xandar is shirtless is just because if they were going to spend the money on having him change color, then you would want as much surface area showing to have that be as dramatic as possible.
Yeah. Big time.
So that's why he's shirtless, and then he has the chest tattoos to make his that large surface area a little more interesting than just a bare-chested guy running around.
And hopefully we get more nipples.
It's a little bit of a weird design. What?
Hopefully we get more nipples here as well.
If that's what you would hope for, then you'll not be disappointed with the reveals that we've had.
Come on, nipples. Gross. Right. Yeah. Do you think they'll do the kind of shoulder kind of chevron things? Or what they're called? The pauldrons?
I really think that we can probably look at Zorana and assume that he's going to match.
Yeah.
You only got half of one out. You only got half of that out. Who was it you were going to mention?
Zorana. That one.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to do the whole thing.
I didn't know it was you.
Like I was putting it on pause, or I was having streaming issues.
I was having streaming issues then, and my brain was having streaming issues trying to understand what was going on because I'm an idiot. Yeah, so Xandar, love it. I love that Xandar's got his own logo, mate. Have you ever noticed that?
What? He has his own logo?
Xandar the enemy.
Oh, okay. On the package, yeah. Well, it's like Destro the enemy, right?
Yeah, but I just like the fact that he's important enough to have his own logo. Is it Zorana the enemy? Zorana the enemy? Does she have that?
I think so. So does Zartan, right?
I know Zartan does, but Zartan's like, you expect it because he's like the head honcho.
Yeah, I think Zorana does too.
That's brilliant.
But most of them just say Dreadnoks the enemy, right?
How funny would it have been if they'd have just carried that on throughout the entire line and just be like, Ali Viper the enemy? Everyone gets one. Steve the enemy. Anyway, amazing stuff. Figure 6-pack says Xandar's legs would be borrowed from Scrap Iron's knee pads and legs. I haven't even looked at the figures enough to pay attention that would make sense, honestly. So I'll take your word for that one, Figure 6-pack. Right. As well as Xandar, who, one more thing I will mention, Pat, yes or no, color change skin?
No, that's not going to happen. That's just not going to happen. I mean, if that happens, it would probably be in a pack with Zorana.
Who?
Zorana.
You hate me so much. Mercer the enemy is a good one. I like that one from Pastor Pierogi. Mercer the enemy is a good one. Yeah, I like that.
Mercer, yeah.
Yeah.
With a question mark.
Mercer the enemy? Genius. Right, yeah. Next up then, Leatherneck. Now, this is another one that you kind of go, if the line goes and goes and goes, you expect Leatherneck at some point. Like, you just expect him. He's a big enough character. He was big in the Sunbow series, season 2. He was like that whole kind of like, you know, relationship with Wetsuit that kind of, you know, the kind of the Marines versus the Navy sort of kind of, you know, always clashing, always fighting. So with a leather, and I said this, I think when we got at a Bazooka, did Bazooka prove that we were going to get an Alpine at some point? And does Leatherneck prove that we're going to get a Wetsuit soon?
No, but we probably will anyway.
Yeah. I mean, that's your answer. Yes and no, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm again curious to see how this one turns out. His accessories, one of the big features of the figure. I would like to see the grenade launcher played up.
Yeah, big time. I mean, that's very synonymous with him, that particular rifle, isn't it? That was the one. That was the rifle I always wanted. I wanted that so bad. I remember seeing Leatherneck on like a product leaflet, and I didn't have him as a kid, and never kind of found him. But the that rifle on there, I was like, oh man, that's just like the one that Dutch has in Predator, and I want that for my little Predator game that I play, where it's like, you know, Dutch and Mac and Dylan and, you know, all that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, I got him in later life, but never had him as a kid. But just wanted that rifle so bad.
I always remember thinking that was the same hat that Gung Ho had on, and that it was just way bigger for some unknown reason.
Yeah,
Which it probably isn't the same hat.
And more dynamic. Well, they're both Marines, aren't they?
They are both Marines, yeah. So it's a similar hat, but I'd be curious to see the real life version of both of those to see how they actually compare in size.
I believe they're called covers. Michael says we're still waiting on Alpine. No, he's been name only revealed. We're going to get an Alpine, so don't worry about that. So that's why I'm saying I think there's going to be a guarantee of a wetsuit in my. I think so anyway. And there's no winking there because I don't know. I'm just basing that's pure speculation. What I can see though, Pat, here, especially with Leatherneck, he isn't like, you know, he's as a vintage figure, it's backpack figure rifle, very no fuss, no nonsense kind of scenario. But when you break down the design of the secondary and the stuff he has on him, there's loads of opportunity for the classified series to kind of do what they've done, which we'll see a bit later on some of those action sailor, action soldier sort of scenarios, where you've got like things that pop on and off of the of the vest. There's a lot of scope there, I think, for Leatherneck to have some cool secondaries going on. The knife, obviously, on the chest, the pistol and all that kind of stuff as well on the thigh. I think this one's going to be kind of cool, honestly.
Yes, and it's not like the line has had tons of green in it, has it?
Not really, not a lot. Do you think he's going to be a hench dude? Do you think he's going to be kind of like gung ho size?
What do you mean? Like
a body build, figure build?
No, for some reason I'm not expecting that.
Because he's always kind of like, I mean, the one that springs to mind immediately is the modern 4-inch version that went with a much bigger body.
They did go really large, but I thought that they just did that because they had the parts to reuse, right?
Yeah, I mean, possibly. He's quite a, in the cartoon, he's depicted as quite a big bruiser. So I could see them going like in that direction. Not necessarily.
I guess I don't really have I guess I don't really have a lot of particular expectations of this. I'll just wait and see what it looks like whenever we get it.
It will be a Nemesis Immortal repaint.
I guess I'm only expecting us to not have a backpack, even though that's only one of the 2 things that he had.
That's so sad, isn't it? And yet, like Quick Kick, we've got a backpack for Quick Kick. We've got a backpack for Airborne. We've got a backpack. We've got a lot more backpacks. The only people that don't get backpacks are the ones that you kind of really desperately want backpacks with, like Buzzer and Ripper.
Yeah.
And Big Ben.
Right.
Why doesn't big old Ben have one? Anyway, Leatherneck. There you go. Cool these. That's the last of the name-only reveals. Shout out to Ron Rudat, who obviously lent his face to both the card art and the figure itself. Anyway, then we got our first reveals of, well, we got them leaked the night before, and we knew that, well, a week before, we knew that Big Boa was coming. But looking pretty good, actually, and also looking really good in the promo shots. Any thoughts on Big Boa, Pat? Anything that's you know that you desperately want out there?
Not anything new from what we've discussed in the past. I do think that the way that they've handled the boots is kind of neat.
Yeah.
They're not like that super techy looking, confusing boot of the original, but yet they have the design on the back of them. So it's nice.
Yeah, big time.
Still feel like the boxing gloves, they still feel a little small to me. Maybe they're not.
I was going to say that was something we were going to talk about, wasn't it? Because I said on the stream, I think Pat will be all right with the gloves. They look a bit bigger than some of the previous ones, and lo and behold, you're not happy.
I guess I need to see it in person. They do look a little bit better. They do.
They look proportional.
Do they?
I think so, personally. I don't think they look, you know, because he made them so big that he's got like 2 beach balls on either side of his hands.
Yeah, but like too small, and they look like he's just wearing mittens. Like
yeah, true.
Go out and
it's like either he wears mittens or he wears 2 massive beach balls on either hand, and he's just boxing like, you know, like that would be so funny. I don't know. I think maybe the pictures are doing this figure incredible amounts of justice, but I don't know. I feel like they look proportionally good.
Yeah, they might be good. I guess I need to see him in person.
Man, the posing is perfect. Matt's done a great job on this, hasn't he? Old Shooting the Galaxy, like absolutely amazing. Figure Six Pack says Cobra is running an MMA tournament. Yeah, it does feel like that, doesn't it? Just great. And I love you've got Quick Kick and Big Boa fighting in a cage. Effectively, I think it's a really good thing. But then all of a sudden, Airborne and a Techno Viper are involved, and you're like, what? When did it turn into a Sunbow episode? But yeah, love this. There you go. There's another shot of the gloves.
Yeah, I guess maybe they don't look too bad.
Can I throw something in your direction? I'm going to throw something in your direction and see what you think about this. Do you think there is an ever so slightly cheeky homage in the head to maybe a possible movie star here, based on the whole history of this particular figure?
I think so. I think
you don't think they've kind of maybe done it with an eye on Adrian? You don't think they've done that?
No, I mean, I don't think so. It'd be cool if that's what it is, but I don't think so. I think there's something else to it. I'm not thinking so. But is there? But then my question then becomes: is there a 6-inch figure of that character, of Rocky, that would be good to pair off with Big Boa?
Is there? Yeah, NECA did Rocky figures, so yeah.
There are Rocky figures, yeah, but I'm curious to see what they would look like.
They'd be 7 inches, though, wouldn't they?
They might be, yeah.
Because they were that, kind of Predator, Aliens kind of scale.
NECA did some. There were some a long time ago, too, but I don't know how good they would look now.
Sammy's just literally said that, by the way, Pat. It's quite funny. Can't wait to pose him with one of the NECA Rocky figures to finally have them go toe-to-toe.
Yeah.
Interesting. I must admit, the shot on the right where he's lifting and this shot where he's changing gloves made me go, oh yeah, there's quite a lot of value to this one that I didn't really see beforehand when you just see the figure in the packaging. I was kind of like, actually, there's quite a lot of fun display options with this one. And Matt has really used every trick in the book to get the most out of this particular figure. I think it looks great. That the lifting the weights, man, as well. You can really feel that image. He's so good at that.
Yeah, and he's really looking at the weight too. He's really into himself.
It's another different actor, but you know what I'm saying. And there's the actual figure as well in real life, with Lenny's mitts in the background there as well. Look, Lenny's delicate mitts. Are Lenny's hands proportional for you, Pat, or do you want them bigger?
Way too small.
Lenny, your hands, mate. They need to be at least 3 beach balls bigger, please. That's letting you know.
That's a perspective thing, though. It's because they're way far back from the figure.
Tiny hands, old Tiny Hands Panzika. Tiny Hanzika, I'm gonna call him from now on. Shout out to Lenny, amazing stuff, mate. Yeah, I'm really into this Big Bow. I'm not gonna lie. I'm getting really excited seeing all of these pictures and stuff now. And then we have Quick Kick, who's another one that I just absolutely fell in love with as a kid. And I know we had different experiences with Quick Kick, shall we say? And we didn't have the same thought process. But this is definitely one of those characters. I remember
what you're talking about there.
Well, way back, I was talking about how Quick Kick was one of those figures in the Action Force comics, and he was very, specific to the kind of UK. The figure was readily available. He was in all of the media. He was in a lot of the VHS episodes that we had. So he was very prominent for me, and I fell in love with this particular character. And so to get the figure, I'm really happy, really super happy that it's as cool as it is. But I know we didn't share the same necessarily feelings on the figure.
Okay. Yeah, I don't remember that. I always kind of liked Quick Kick.
Oh, good. That's fine then. Maybe I made all that up.
What you're talking about.
Yeah, what the hell am I talking about? Maybe you're in a bad mood and you just taking it out on me that day, maybe.
Well, it's possible that just our likes of the figure were different, and realistically, he's an odd one. It looks like to me he represents more like what he would be doing while he's practicing, not that he's going to go out into the snow. Where
100%.
Yeah, with no shoes, but that's kind of how he ends up being depicted.
Well, actually, yeah. I mean, there's so much to unpack there, isn't there? The fact that this particular design of the figure, like, I'm the same as you. I don't assume this isn't battle hardened. This isn't battle gear, like, in my head. Like, in that scenario, like, you've got other depictions of the character in different garb, even in the comics.
Yeah.
You know, like the whole was it Barovian mission?
Did he wear shoes there?
He wore like all sorts of gear. They all wore the black, like the all black gear with the hat, the little beanie hats, didn't they? In that mission, I want to say.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
But like in a lot of situations, yeah, he was depicted topless. In the cartoon, they ran with it because it's ridiculous, and also it's cheaper to just do that model all the time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
easier.
Right. Yeah, and you're trying to make sure that you're representing the toy that kids are going to go find.
Exactly. It's kind of like Marine dress gung ho. This is the same vibe to me. It's like that's a specific clothing scenario for a specific situation. This is the same thing with Quick Kick, and like I don't see why you can't enjoy him in a way that would make sense to you. Do you know what I mean? And like you just said, this is him training, or this is him like, you know, in the dojo with like, you know, with a bunch of other guys and they're just sparring and stuff like that. That makes a hell of a lot more sense. It doesn't make sense that he's not wearing any shoes in the like jungle or something. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I get why people are a little bit quick to dismiss, but at the same time, he doesn't have to be that version of Quick Kick, if that makes sense. Yeah, but anyway, I really like this one. Loads of cool stuff. I love the backpack. I think it's so cool and detailed. And the fact that he's got Madam Two Swords there, and the nunchucks fit in the loops on his belt, mate. Proper Michelangelo Turtles vibe going on here.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, he's got those little loops in the back. Obviously, multiple hands, you know, for chops and punches and the C grips. The Fudgy is a great addition. I'm so happy we've done that. I'm so happy that's happened. The only thing I will say that I'm not 100% sold on is the throwing star effect, because I think the color that it is really kind of takes it out of what it could, you know, what it should be doing, which I think it should be see-through. What do you think?
I don't disagree. It's not see-through.
I mean completely transparent, not colored. I don't think it should be blue, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, just like transparent clear. Yeah, I don't disagree.
Or one of the ninja stars should be the actual ninja star, and the trail and the other ninja star effect pieces off it should be white. I think that would make sense.
They seem to be a little bit afraid to just include some throwing stars. Oh wait, it looks like one of them silver.
Oh, maybe one is silver at the end, and then the rest is kind of
one at the end is one at the end is silver. The rest of them are blue.
Yeah,
they seem to be just kind of afraid. It's so weird to me though, because like the 4-inch line included throwing stars.
Yeah, and articulated hands to hold them.
Yeah, so it's strange to me that whenever we get them in the 6-inch, you know, it's the original one was Snake Eyes permanently holding it that was molded in. Yeah. That I thought was disappointing. And this is even a little strange. Like, it would have been cool if they had gone with that same approach that they did with
Storm Shadow, wasn't it?
With Storm Shadow, yeah, of having them attach to the strap instead. I don't know.
Actually, that would have been really cool. Yeah, to have them come like attached to his sash as well. Like, that would be really dope.
Yeah.
Yeah. The money went for a fudgy bar. That's correct, Diana. It did. Quick Kick took on Snow Serpents in the UK Action Force comic issue Cold Comfort. Yes, they did figure 6-pack. It's some of my favorite artwork in that, because that was the awesome. I do this every time. I'm like, I'm going to big someone up, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I've had a brain fart and can't remember their name. Who's the most like? That's going to drive me mad now. I love the artist as well. I'll come back to it. It'll come to me. I had it then. If Paddy was sitting next to me, which he's not right now,
yeah, he would know it in a second.
He would know immediately, because we talk about him all the time, and I can't believe I've forgotten. Anyway, I'll come back to that because I will remember. It keeps coming to me and then disappearing. I'm having a mental breakdown. Packaging on this one. Now, the big boa one looked like he was in the cage. You didn't see a lot going on, homage-wise, or I didn't see anything homage-wise. Quick Kick, though, has a lot of cool homage on his. Storm Shadow there in the background, in the Arctic, barefoot, with the tiger seals in there. Yes, it's from the Pyramid of Darkness episode where we get his debut, where he meets up with Alpine and Bazooka and saves them. And where he kicks Storm Shadow's butt in that particular scene. Yeah, nice little call out there, Pat, would you say?
Yeah, sure, that's fine. I keep on forgetting about the pattern he has on the side of the legs.
Yeah, I was going to get to that because there's loads more images. No, that's totally cool. That's a good segue, and here's a good shot of it as well. What are your thoughts on the pattern? Do you like the little addition there?
Yeah, without that, it becomes a lot of surface area on a 6-inch figure. So yeah, I think it's fine.
Yeah, it adds a little bit of like a little kind of touch, doesn't it? A little bit of flair. And also, I think Eleni mentioned that it was like it's almost like the wind. I think he described it as. In which case, he should have put a patch on his bum, shouldn't he? That'd have been perfect. Again, love these shots. Love the backpack. I'm going to just go ahead and say that the sash allows the backpack to stay on his back in the similar way that Bazooka's backpack just doesn't have any like practical way of staying on his back, but it does. Do you know what I mean? Like there's no straps, there's no secondary, there's nothing that proves that backpack that Bazooka has could actually stay on his back unless it was glued on to his shirt. So I like the fact that there's at least the sash can give you the appearance that backpack works practically.
Yeah, it looks like I'm not trying to be picky here, but it looks like the one accessory is on the wrong direction in each of the images, right?
Yeah, there it is in the right direction.
The strap, yeah.
There it is in the wrong direction. So that would be, you just have to flip it, the diagonally round on the other side there on that one.
Oh, he has the one where he's standing there where it's the right direction. Yeah, I kind of think it's a little bit weird though that they spent the money to give us a second head. Is it chewing? Is that what he's doing in the second head? Chewing the fudgy bar?
I thought the second head was just wavier hair.
Well, he has a different expression as well, because if it was just wavier hair, they probably would have just given us hair.
Oh, also, shout out to Scott Johnston, who did the artwork for these, by the way. So the artwork you see on the sides, obviously we've had Oliver Barrett in the past do a lot of them, and we spoke to him on an interview as well. Scott Johnston did it, and Scott Johnston's also done loads of website work. He did like a lot of the website stuff that we saw, a lot of the Instagram images early on, that Storm Shadow that we all talk about with the tattoo. All of that was Scott Johnston, and then he did a lot of stuff as well with all of the kind of like artwork that went elsewhere, like for other merchandise and stuff like that. So it was cool to know that he did the artwork for these particular set of figures, which is really cool. But yeah, this is just shooting the Galaxy Matt, getting the sash the wrong way around in a few shots, and then getting it right. But yeah, as you say, I don't know. I didn't know there was an expression change necessarily on the head, so that's cool to know that at least there's a difference there. And it does look a little bit like he's chewing. Maybe it's like to add a bit more depth to the fudgy.
Yeah, it would be neat if the hair was removable in some ways, so that you could have the different expressions with the different hair. But
yeah,
that's not.
You've got to be eating and running at the same time. That's the problem, right?
Right. It surprises me that's how that was a. I'd like to know what the reason was for that, because an additional head, we've talked about this before, an additional head is kind of a significant cost.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of deco that goes into the face. There's a lot of effort there. So for them to include a second head that just is, a different expression with the wind blowing, is an interesting choice as far as how you're going to spend money.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think you're right. And that's something I will ask Lenny when I speak to him next week. I 100% will ask that question. I will go into take us through why you decided Quick Kick needed to have a chewy face. Do you know what I mean? And he'll be like, "What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about." Phil says, now you can team up Quick Kick and Shang-Chi just like Marvel UK wanted. Absolutely, Phil. Good shout out to the Marvel comics there as well. That's one of the reasons, again, I really like Quick Kick is because, and Shang-Chi is because I really enjoyed that particular crossover in the comics. And yeah, there's your Quick Kick. I'm happy. He looks cool. Next. There he is as well in reality, which is pretty neat. Reality, like all those other images of fake, the AI, the other images.
We entered a different universe to look at all the previous images.
And there's another shot of the pattern on his pants, which again I really like. I think that's a great little addition, that one. Next, techno Viper.
That never even occurred to me that he would be Techno Viper because of the techno music. I never even made that connection in my head.
Well, there you go, Pat. You can enjoy that for the rest of the day. You can be singing techno every time you go and do something. Yeah, Techno Viper. This is just, for me, yeah, spot on. Got it right. Lots of cool little things. It's a Techno Viper. Looks good. Deco looks amazing. And there's a nice little addition of a thing that goes on his wrist.
Yeah, I liked Lenny's explanation for this, that it's like he has to analyze what he needs to repair before he fixes it.
Genius.
Yeah.
Genius. Like a diagnostician situation. It's like a Diagnostik80. Yeah. It's like he's like diagnosing the situation before he records a live stream about it. That's what it is. Yeah. Are you happy with this little addition? Do you like that being incorporated into a Techno Viper?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really alter the figure in any way, so you're still getting the classic Techno Viper, and it enhances the thing, so it's not just kind of a nothing to talk about, nothing to see here upscale of the original design. So yeah, I would like to see more stuff like that with future figures.
Yeah, definitely. Diana says, I want the pink Techno Viper. We're talking about that in a second, Diana, because that was quite a nice little fun little addition to the stream. And my first thought was to go to you, actually, Pat, when they bust out the kind of first shot thing. I was like, oh, I bet Pat will like that.
Yeah.
You did. Brilliant. So, yeah, again, like Techno Viper, I think this is a solid one. I love the backpack. I love all the tools. I love the fact they've done pretty much everything. The only thing I have against this figure, Pat, I'm not sure if you agree with me. I need a safety cone now with all of my Techno Vipers, and I feel like this needed a safety cone.
Okay, I didn't really think about that, but sure. I actually kind of forgot about it. I don't know why I forgot about it, but have you ever gotten multiple safety cones together and put them together? Of
course.
Because they lock together.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think that would have been great for the classified series. You could have had multiple, like, Troop build these bad. I tell you what, you put a traffic cone in here, 40 people will buy 40 of them like the eels.
I think the safety cone can go with somebody else. It was a neat accessory, but
who would you put a safety cone with in the line?
Well, Tollbooth had one too from the club. That was a good figure.
It's a good shout. Would you also put a bridge layer with him?
With Tollbooth?
Yeah.
Not really. Honestly, the bridge layer isn't something I need in 6 inches. They're going to get to a point pretty fast for me where I'm just not interested in vehicles anymore.
And here is the Defiant, and you're like, no thanks. That one will be like it'll be in like they'll be doing like a special collaboration with NASA, and it will actually take you to space. That would be amazing. Anyway, Techno Viper. They've gone with this is an interesting card back scenario here, because they've gone with what looks to be this dystopian cyberpunk kind of vibe, but looks very similar to the kind of scenario that Nunchuck was involved in and his artwork, except he was on the rooftops of this particular, what looks to be kind of like Japanese neon sort of vibe going on in the background. But can you see the tank there, Pat? In just to the left of the isn't that cool?
Yeah, so there's been a battle, and Techno Viper needs to do some repairs.
But it looks like a Mobat to me. I'm just going to go out on a limb and say that.
Is it? I don't know. I don't think that we're getting a Mobat. That would be a vehicle I would like. would like to have, the original team jumping in front of the Mobat.
Wouldn't that be a great display piece? That's almost so. That's really iconic as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I didn't look at these images until now of the backs of these packages. And has anyone translated what's behind him?
Oh, as if. This is no, I haven't, and I don't know if anyone has.
Okay. This is interesting. It's like completely different than a lot of the stuff that we've seen before.
Let me know what it says, and we'll reveal it to the world. Anyway, yeah, I think there's I think it's possibly a Mobat in the background, but I'm just throwing that out there. Very cool. Again, artwork from Scott Johnson, phenomenal. He does a great job, and you can kind of see Scott's style here. He likes that angle. Like if you look at that Techno Viper on the artwork, he likes that. I'll do it here now in my little box. He does this where he likes this lean. That particular lean he's into in his artwork. I've seen Duke doing this lean. I've seen the Techno Viper. I've seen Snake Eyes, Storm Shadow. They've all done it.
This thing?
Yeah, like that. Yeah, like that kind of like just kind of like a what's the angle called? Obtuse angle? I don't know. Whatever. But like, kind of that lean. He loves that lean. He loves Eileen. Come on, Eileen. So that's that. Then we have obviously the Techno Viper now is joined the battle. Player 3 enters the ring. And we get the Techno Viper images. Again, beautiful images. I'm not sure how it works with a MMA fight between Big Boa and Quick Kick, but I'm just going to roll with it. And
maybe it's he's not going to fight. This is an episode of BattleBots, and he's going to repair his robot. It's Cobra has a BattleBots competition once a year.
We had the same show called Robot Wars.
Was it the same show or just the same premise?
Same premise.
Okay.
UK version.
Producers?
Yeah, because it was like be like a little robot that moved around with an axe on it or something, and then the other one would have like flames coming out of it and be like a wedge, and then there'd be one with like a buzzsaw on it and stuff like that. Yeah, and they would fight each other, and that was called Robot Wars in the UK, and it was a UK version of it, definitely 100%. Anyway,
I wonder if it was the same producers or if any of the same robots showed up. But now we're off on a tangent.
Yeah, we've gone way
and
off.
There was something about an air conditioner and a school uniform behind Techno Viper. That was what Google Lens told me.
Really?
Yeah.
A school uniform?
Yeah, that's what up on the right side of the package, like over his left shoulder. One of the things that said HARA school uniform.
Oh.
And then over his right shoulder, left side of the package, it said air conditioner and then an arrow pointing down. And the rest of it was too light for Google to translate. You could enhance the image and then translate it. But yeah, it seems like it's just kind of like titles of things that are sold at the stores behind him. So they're having a battle over air conditioners and school uniforms. And
what a weird thing to put in the background if that is the case.
Yeah.
Mark II Design. Sorry, Mark. I'm saying your name and then I apologize. Mark II Design has said, didn't Robot Wars have some Red Dwarf folks hosting? Yes. Craig Charles, I think, hosted Robot Wars. Craig Charles was Lister in Red Dwarf, an absolute tour de force of comedy from the United Kingdom. I love Red Dwarf. It's hilarious. Anyway, thanks, Mark. Hope you're doing well, mate. Anyway, some great pictures. Very nice. I love that shot of him looking at his diagnostic holographic readout. And there he is again. Brilliant. Awesome. Phenomenal. Smeg head. Yes, RKW. Smeg head. And this is the one, Pat. This is the cool little thing that they brought out. A cute little kind of almost like color matching test shot sort of scenario. What were your thoughts when they pulled this bad boy out?
Honestly, just very thankful. Like, I really appreciate that they took the time to show us this, because I'm sure there is a little bit of trepidation, or a little bit, they were probably at least a little bit hesitant to show something that we were not going to be getting, because sometimes, they show us some pre-production parts, then people complain that they definitely want it, but at the same time, we know that if they released this, that it would not be the one that sells very well. Because people would be like, that's not what I had as a kid, or that's not Techno Viper. Yeah. And then it wouldn't sell. And So I could see why a lot of times in the past they haven't shown us these steps of the process. But I really appreciate this because I don't know how much other people are aware of it. But that's kind of where my G.I. Joe focus has gone, is on figures that are fully painted samples that are different than what was released. So I really loved the opportunity to see this.
Yeah, definitely.
And for him to explain it the same way that I understood this happening in the past with like the green screen, the green bomb strike that looks like She-Hulk. You know, it's just a digit that's off on the sheet when they send it over, and the factory follows those instructions to a T, and you get what you get.
Amazing. So that is that. Very cool. Like that. That was a nice little touch. And then Airborne to finish off the 4-figure wave, by the way. It looks like they're switching to 4 figures because of all the other stuff that comes now, like retro and 60th and deluxe and price points and vehicles and stuff. So yeah, it looks like they're probably cutting down a little bit on that angle in order to, make sense of all the rest of it that they're throwing in there. But this Airborne, mate, this again, the figure over the digital render, over the kind of leaks that we've seen recently, the figure in hand with all the gear on looks phenomenal, in my opinion.
Yeah, it is really nice. Wait, you know what? I really kind of like the cover that they gave on the goggles, so that it matches the way that the vintage figure, I'm sure, is just unpainted goggles.
Yeah.
But then it kind of fits with the color of it. It helps sell it. I like it.
Yeah. It's a nice little ingenious move, that. Yeah, definitely. So you can have like the covered goggles on the top, and you can have the regular goggles on show, like open underneath.
Yeah.
And yeah, very, very cool. Lots of different options for this one. Again, I love the secondary. I think there's so much going on. I think it's really intricate, way more intricate than I thought the figure was as well. Like, I don't recall all that gear that was going on, like on the original reveals of stuff, like digital renders and all that kind of stuff. It just didn't seem as interesting visually when we saw it. But now it's like this stacked, man. And he looks really good all geared up. And again, this is another nice one. Scott doing the lean. Slightly different lean here. It's a standing up with the head tilted, but it's still leaning in that direction. A lot of that's got to do with the space you're dealing with as well, though. I totally get that. And it makes sense for them to go in that direction. But Scott is an absolute lean legend when it comes to that. And yeah, the back on this one, again, massive Sunbow shout to the Easter Island episode, where obviously Airborne plays a huge part in that. And his brother, who is a what's the word? Like, he's got sort of like psychic capabilities or psychokinetic capabilities. What's the one where you move things with your mind?
Telekinesis.
Telekinesis. Is that what it is, or was it psychokinetic? I can't remember which one he has in that episode. In any case, he's got psychic abilities, let's just say. And obviously Cobra trying to, steal that and farm it and all that kind of jazz. And then you have your, ridiculous episode, but also Dragonfly in there as well. Or I think it's just the helicopter that was in that episode, but I can't tell.
Yeah, no, it looks to me, it doesn't look like it's the Dragonfly.
No, I think it's just the helicopter that's in that episode.
Yeah, which is also why I'm thinking that it's, well, maybe it is the Dragonfly.
I could have sworn it was a Dragonfly in that episode.
It looks like the bottom of it doesn't look like the shape of the Dragonfly. I guess if we had our Dragonflies already, we would know.
Yeah, screw you, Hasbro, for not getting us our Dragonflies.
Yeah, I do think, now that I'm zooming in, I guess maybe it is a Dragonfly.
Chris says it's an Apache. So does the Desert Apache get made given the box art on the back? I'm just going to say, okay, then it might just be a generic Apache. Absolutely, it can be. They've done that with Desert Snake Eyes and Grunt. It was like a Black Hawk, maybe, or one of those kind of helicopters in that. But anyway,
I guess we're also getting kind of a peek into the pre-production samples here in the back of the package, aren't we? Because the cover for his goggles is black here instead of green.
Interesting.
Yeah, the one that they showed off was green.
Yeah, and the one that's in the package
is green.
Green, yeah.
But on the art on the back, it's black.
Interesting.
which it's much better in green if you ask me. So
yeah, they did the right thing. They made the right
Yeah.
choice there, definitely.
Mhm.
Mr. Drake has asked, "What's your favorite head sculpt so far?" That's a good question, actually, and I'd have to say Lieutenant Falcon.
you couldn't even get it fully out.
I know, I could. Kitty said. I will say, Mr. Drake, on that one, I'm a big fan of Outback's head sculpt, and I'm a big fan of brain fart. What's yours, Pat? While I'm thinking about the other one.
To be honest, right now, I don't know for sure. I did really of the first series, I always really liked Scarlet early on, but that's been replaced at this point.
Yeah.
I don't know what head sculpt I like best.
Oh, Scrap Iron. That's a good shout.
Scrap Iron?
I do like that one. I think that's really crazy looking.
I really like
scar
Ripper
and
a lot.
everything.
Gideon Ripper the other day, like the texture of the hair and then the way that they sold the face, like even when he was talking in the live stream about his eye. Yeah, it's Ripper's really good.
Oh yeah, that's a good shout actually, because I don't have Ripper in hand, so I can't. Yeah, I'm gonna have to say Ripper as well. From seeing Ripper and seeing your pictures that you sent me, I think that's a beauty.
Yeah, he's really good.
I'm a big fan though of Scrap Iron. I think Scrap Iron's is a wicked head.
I need to look at that again. Actually, you know what? Scrap Iron might be one of the victims of it came at a bad time, and so it hasn't gotten opened.
Right.
So I maybe need to open my Scrap Iron. I had him as a kid, and I would like to open him.
It's a good figure, mate. Like even take the mental awesome drone out of the picture. The figure's really like satisfying as well. There's a lot of satisfying design visuals going on. Hopefully that answers your question. Airborne again, some great shots here of him getting ready for his fight, bringing a gun to a fist fight. I think that's a little bit cheaty.
Yeah, that is cheating. For
Definitely cheating there. But yeah, again, the figure looks phenomenal. And I think, again, even though the narrative is confusing to me here, it's cool. Like Airborne looks freaking awesome. And yeah, like they're sneaking up on a Techno Viper there with a dagger. Amazing stuff.
How do you sneak up on someone in a cage match?
Easily, by the look of it there. He's not paying attention or anything. Airborne is breaking in to save Quick Kick, shooting the Galaxy. Thank you so much. You're explaining the narrative. I get it. All right, thank you.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Here we go. Now we can look at it again, and it can all make sense. So he's broken in, and he's saving Quick Kick. I like that. Thank you, shooting the Galaxy, who's obviously the person behind these wonderful images, by the way. And that, by the way, at no point have I said they're not very good. I just didn't understand why Airborne and Techno Viper were doing in the cage, Matt. I didn't understand what was happening. I must admit, at first,
behind him, is he done with the? Is that the Techno Viper back there?
What in that image on the left?
Oh no, that's
his
backpack. That's his backpack.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Now I'm wondering if the people on the outside of the cage are cheering or if they're angry.
I thought they were zombies. I thought it was a zombie thing at first, and obviously I knew it when it was brought to my attention that it was a cage match thing. Then I was like, oh yeah, okay, cool. And also shooting us says, I know, lol, appreciate it. There's an order to the images across all 4 products. Thank you, Matt. That's brilliant. I'm gonna.
That would be nice to actually see that as the to see them in that order would be nice.
Yeah, I should. My bad. That's all. That's on me. Anyway, I love that. Can you see Quick Kick with a chair in that image on the left?
Yeah.
And Big Bo are like, please don't smash that into my face. Thanks. Brilliant stuff.
Well, are they going to get overtaken by the crowd? Is now the question, though. In the narrative.
Could be. I want to know who's in the crowd. Matt, can you tell us who you used for the crowd? Is that revealing too much information?
Well, obviously, he probably has enough figures that he probably did just populate it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, is it random figures or is it specific? Is there stuff in there that we're going to get in the future? What can you say about that? And you can also just
photography, though. It could just be a cutout, or it could be a different scale of figure as well.
Well, they look like figures, don't they, there? But then if you go into the background, it does look like maybe it could just be any generic, like some sort of like technique to
Yeah.
make it look like human people or whatever in the background.
I would imagine for the depth that would be required. I mean, I'm just making things up, but I would just imagine it would be easier to go with just a cutout silhouette and not have to worry about making sure that you're not highlighting other figures as you go.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, Matt can tell us exactly in the future. So, first rule of Fight Club RKW. There you go. There's the figure in reality with all of his gear on. There he is without his helmet and goggles on. And there's Duke. So we've moved into Duke. There you go. Retro. Let's talk retro quickly, Pat. Are you happy with the Duke figure?
For sure. Yeah, that's what I've not been pre-ordering things, but I disappointed myself when I did some pre-orders. And Duke was one of them. I think that they've really done a good job of getting Duke represented here. I saw some people complaining about the fact that he comes with a visor. I'm sure it pops off. That was a helmet that, in the story world was capable of having that on it anyway. So I don't see why that would be a bad thing. I think that they did a lot of cool stuff. I'm curious to see how well the binoculars actually hang on the figure, because that was always an issue for me with the original Duke.
Yeah.
As you put the binoculars on and then they're just kind of pointing straight out.
Big time. I had that with the Tiger Force version, because I had the Tiger Force version of Duke. That was the version I had as a kid. And same problem. Love it. And there's the
only
little
thing that I'm not wild about is again the backpack. I'm a backpack complainer today, but man, did they get the head sculpt looking like Duke to me? Like, it looks like it has that little bit of a cleft chin, just tiny little bit from the cartoon.
Yeah.
He does look like he's a little bit related to the original classified series, so it's not like you've had too dramatic of a shift.
Yeah. Just a haircut.
But man, it looks like if you showed me this head sculpt and didn't tell me which figure it was, I would say, oh, that's Duke.
Right,
like if it had just been the head sculpt that had leaked, even without the coloring on it, it looks like it's Duke. So it's really good.
Awesome. There we go in reality as well. Oop, there goes Rabbit. Sorry, I was going to start doing the lyrics for Lose Yourself. And there he is with the helmet on, which we can all expect on Starduster, let's face it. And probably a lot of that Duke figure is probably going to be part of Starduster as well. Maybe. Who knows? And then Scarlet. Absolutely cool AF. Now, what I love about this figure, actually, Pat, is the fact that you can have her in no ponytail, or tactical ponytail.
Yeah, it really works for the problems that the original figure had.
I mean, that is the original figure hair right there, isn't it? Without the ponytail's not there.
Yeah,
Isn't that like a spot on kind of design look?
I kind of think that's how the original figure ended up there, though. Is that she just kind of was like, well, she doesn't have the ponytail, but we'll imply it from the front.
Right, exactly.
She didn't have a big hole in the back of her hair, though. So I don't think that I would ever let this figure sit around with a hole in her hair for that reason. But
well, if you really had to, you could always plug it up and paint over it. Sure. But yeah, that I do like the fact that the all the bases are covered on this one. And again, like the little thigh quiver, we've got a little backpack, which is the Valkyrie's repainted one, I think, and then we've got the kind of like automatic rifle, the sunbow rifle, and obviously the crossbow with the bolts as well. There's a lot of cool stuff with this figure, man.
Yeah, I like the fact that they're including stuff that you can then remove in order to make it look like the original figure, so that you are getting a little bit more for what it is, but that they are sticking to it. I like the fact that she has the pistol inside the wrist.
Yeah, just inside there. Although someone was saying this because there's no slingshot in the back pocket. That needs to be there too.
I always felt that the slingshot was a little silly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at it. I mean, these
Charlotte's
shots
a little more serious than to be carrying around a slingshot.
I love these shots of her, man. That one on the left is just beautiful of her, like kind of in that dynamic pose with the pistol and the hair kind of flowing and that kind of stuff. The fact that the kind of the bigger ponytail, the more tactical ponytail, allows the backpack to be on as well, so it doesn't affect that. Just a lot has gone into, a lot of thoughts gone into this figure, where I think people just would have been fine with just a simple figure that looked like the original Scarlet. They've kind of gone beyond that, and they've done some awesome stuff with it. So yeah, really, really excited to get this particular figure. And there's, again, some more shots of her. There's the tactical ponytail in play with the backpack. Nice. Yeah, awesome. And there she is in reality, in real life, with Lenny's tiny hands. Old tiny hands Panzika. I'm just kidding, Lenny, of course. Your hands are perfectly sized, Kitty said. And there's that shot from the side where it kind of like wibbles out and everything. Very cool. Yeah. Awesome. And then Recondo. And what more can we say about Recondo that we haven't already said, as he's a figure that we've had in the past already? But I do love the deco. I think they did really well with the tiger print kind of like camo on the pants. Just really dope. Really dope. You happy with are you happy with the deco on this one, I should say, Pat?
Yes. This is Recondo, so good. They did a good job. It's not like he comes with quite the loadout as the other figures, but that's absolutely fine with me. He looks good.
Yeah, love it. One thing I will say though, as we're going through the Recondo images, in terms of the card backs, little disappointed they've not got the border. Yeah, they've got the border with the Cobra Commander that comes with the Hiss tank, but they don't have the white border with the new ones. And I was kind of like, why? That's like, again, one of the main things I think people had issue with was the fact that there's no white border. And I, for one, love the fact that they're reinforced and they're double, the double ones that pinch the bubble. I think that's a great idea. But I'm so surprised they went against the grain here and didn't do the borders on these.
Yeah, it is a little weird. I kind of feel like all the retro card backs don't even necessarily, we've talked about this before, they don't even necessarily have to match the earlier things. We could get retros of other later G.I. Joe card backs. And later on, they didn't have that white border.
Yeah.
But they did at this point. So
yeah.
I kind of feel like they should.
Yeah, samesies. It's my only complaint on the retros, honestly. Yeah, I think they're really cool. Can't wait to see the other ones they come out with and how they get, if it's going to just be reissues or if they're going to do redecos with them. I'm kind of interested to see what they do with those particular troop builders that we've got coming. And there's Recondo for you. Lovely stuff. Now, there's obviously reality Recondo. And then we've got the 60th. Let's quickly get through these because we have gone way over time here.
We have, I just finally realized I was running on too long.
No, you're not your fault. Action Soldier Infantry. This is a home run for me, and the fact that you can remove all those pouches and stuff. Look at all the gear he comes with. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah, I've said before that I've always felt like not every figure that's a hero within the G.I. Joe team, like one of the good guys, needs to be actually on the G.I. Joe team. Like them working with guys who are in the military is an awesome inclusion, in my opinion. And this is not what I was expecting from the 60th, but I think that it's good. It feels like it's an accessory pack and figure all in one.
So true. Do you like? I noticed this the other day when I looked at the back of the packaging, but it kind of has that forward observer unit vibe with the the tent and everything in the background. Wasn't sure what you thought about that.
I didn't really pay attention to the tent at all, to be honest. So, yeah, no, it's good.
I would genuinely love them to do mini dios. I'd love them to do like things like the Forward Observer. I'd love them to do like Checkpoint Alpha and things like that. Stuff that is like, classified scale, but like just, really, really cool additional elements.
Yeah, for sure.
And then we've got all of this beautiful photography. This is like jaw dropping. Some of it looks real. Like it's only when you see like the articulation in some of the knees and the elbows, you kind of go, oh yeah, kind of. Initially, I'm looking at it going, wow, is this like taken from actual wartime friggin'? It's just gorgeous stuff.
So this looks like it's pretty much all in camera. The stuff that's on the back of the package, that is a part of a different shoot, or is that just kind of a Photoshop together?
So this here, that's just everything that comes with it, and
Well,
it's covered with.
I mean the back of the package. See, that's a photograph on the back of the package.
Yeah, that's the same figure though, isn't it? Like it's just all the gear that you...
figure. I'm just asking about the photo shoot.
This and that are two different things, yeah.
Yeah, they're two different things. I'm just wondering, is the back of the package done the same way? Because there's a lot of elements always in the back of the package that are like far off and things like that. I'm just asking a question.
Oh, like is the homage in there? Are you saying?
No.
I'm not sure what question you're asking me.
My question is, like, those photos are amazing. The back of the package,
yeah,
has multiple elements. Is it done the same way?
Oh,
like,
I see.
Where
right.
it's a photo shoot, or
no,
is
I believe
it's
like
a figures that's a still and then elements put together.
I believe it's a digital render.
Okay.
So
yeah,
that's sorry, I understand what you mean now. Sorry. So yeah, the back of the package is a digital render, and then these are like, you know, Dio shots basically. I don't think they do a Dio and then like this and then take a picture of it and then touch it up. I do think it's a full-on digi kind of
just a digital bash of all that stuff. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah. So I see what you're saying. I was like, I was miles away then. Sorry. But yeah, these shots look phenomenal. The amount of gear, because this is the thing. Every image looks like a different figure. It's like you've got this guy, and then you've got the backpack guy, and then you've got this guy, and then you've got nothing on the head there, no helmet, and then you've got the ghillie suit, like the kind of like the poncho. It's like there's so many different like opportunities for this one. It's crazy.
Yeah, you could make them look 12 different ways. That's really the way I think that you handle a troop builder for the G.I. Joe team. It's good.
Phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. And there's the full loadout, and Lenny holding up the the kind of poncho as well, which is pretty dope. I did say on the last stream that I think there's a hint there that we're going to be getting some sort of roadblock scenario again with that 50 cal, because it just, I mean, I don't know why they would. It just feels like a preeminent usage of something that, yeah, they're tooling for that particular reason.
Tiger Force? Did we already get Tiger Force Roadblock?
I personally think Tiger Force Roadblock would be the one to do it with, and obviously then you're re-decoing the heavy artillery Roadblock, and you're just giving him that gun. It's like a no-brainer, isn't it? Really.
Yep.
And then of course, the modular elements on the vest as well. Just that's like a new thing for this. Really, the secondaries have really been like you put a knife in or you put a pistol in. Now it's like you can take pouches off and put pouches back on. I mean, build it how you want. That's really, really cool. So interesting. Obviously, price point for these should be what, $34.99, I believe it was. That's nuts to me. The fact they can do these at deluxe prices, and then BBTS, I think, put them up cheaper than that by accident. I want to say they were like $25.99, and I think someone just mentioned, it might be Travis, sorry, said that BBTS said they would honor the price.
Wow. Okay. Entertainment Earth did that too, but I don't know if they will.
Interesting. Yeah, it was like $25, wasn't it, basically?
Yeah. It was so fast, though. I don't know how many people got that order in.
Sean got them from EE for $24.99. They must have been given some dodgy information, the retailers. But yeah, $34.99 is still an amazing price for these. Then, of course, we've got the Action Sailor, and then another phenomenal figure. And yeah, again, similar scenario here. Loads of options, loads of different like things you can take off and put on, and you know, the secondary is really cool. And like, I love this kind of like this secondary that they've given it, like gives it even more kind of like interest for me. The submersible, just so cool, so much stuff. Are you a fan of the underwater guy too?
They both look really good. I don't know that it's what I'm kind of surprised about is that it's not just like wetsuits gear in advance.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So yeah, they've done a nice job. It looks good.
Yeah, another beauty. In the background there, I'm going to say is just a random boat, unless anyone can tell me otherwise. But yeah, very cool. and that's his submersible piece as well in the background there, which is kind of cool. That is really a good thing to show off on the render as well, actually, because it's such a cool addition to this set. It is like a mini vehicle, actually, so I think that's really neat. Yeah, and then of course we've got these beautiful images again underwater, multiple shots there, of course, and then like, you know, team shots. I love that lighting on that one as well, with the kind of like orange glow. That's really ominous. Yeah, love that. Lovely stuff. And then hitting the beach, and I don't mean in like Miami. I mean like, you know, kind of the getting onto the beach. It's interesting as well because I always find it difficult to, you know, when you're using figures on like sand, the particles on the sand are slightly bigger, so it doesn't look kind of like the same thing. So you kind of have to get that stuff that's finer usually when you're doing Dio sets. I wonder if Shooting the Galaxy had to do that as well, or if you just use sand. I know it's it's just a random question. I'm throwing it out there, but
I like the water behind. The crashing water looks good.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Again, and you can kind of put it. It's a bit out of focus too, so it gives it that even more like realism and stuff. Yeah, really nice touch. I'm excited to talk to Matt about this. I think it's going to be a cool little chat we can have about his.
Well, if you have a chat with him and record it, then we could see. You could play these out in order, and that would be fun to watch.
Yeah, definitely. And there's a Techno Viper there as well. I think cheeky Techno Viper in the shot, next to those sandbags in the top right hand corner. Anyway, yeah, absolutely awesome. There's the last shot with all his looking at his gear, going, "How am I going to carry this back to? How am I going to take this back? There's too much stuff. I can't carry it all. They didn't design enough things on me to carry all this gear." Amazing. And there he is in real life. And I love Lenny's got the G.I. Joe strap on his watch, hasn't he? The one that they did a while back. So yeah, nice product placement there, Lenny. I like it. I think that's everything.
Is that everything? It is everything. We're finally to the end. Yeah.
Right. Let's get into shout outs because we've got to move on, really. Let's do it.
Have you tried Hoarder yet? No? Well, you need to. If you have a collection of things and want to create a fun and easy way of organising it and, of course, showing it off, then get involved. You can post items and build collections, and you can drop a status like getting a fun delivery or seeing some awesome related stuff on your travels. Build your collections with Hoarder. The app is free to download on Google Play and the App Store, so what are you waiting for? Get to hoarding.
Yo, shout outs. Pat, take us away, my man.
Shout out, as always, to Philip. We don't have a new one up yet, but if you haven't seen our Back to the Future episode, it was a lot of fun putting together.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Go check it out. Link in the description. And shout out to Phil as well, who was on a little while ago. So yeah, thanks very much, mate. This one has gone on. I think this is a record, Pat. We've broken 2 hours. I think the reason for that is because we just had so much to get through. So thanks for kind of, sticking with us this entire time, everybody. It looks like everyone's still with us. So many people watching this episode today. Thank you so much. Then, of course, massive shout out to my lovely wife, Kate, and Phoebes, and our house. We're settling in nicely, and we're having a great time in our new gaff. So, massive shout out. Love you, honey. And of course, massive shout out to the whole family in the UK and the US. Love you guys. Hope everyone is doing well. We'll be seeing some of you over Christmas, of course. And then shout out to Brian for the amazing graphics. Brian and Moxie in this shot. Moxie's gorgeous as well. But yeah, as well as Brian. Brian's also gorgeous. Thanks, Brian, for the amazing graphics. They're brilliant. The Bushido winter graphics. I've slipped into winter a little early because it's bloody freezing already. How cold is it where you are, Pat, right now?
50s right now. It's fine.
How dare you? When I got out this morning and it was like the day after tomorrow, I was like watching the frost kind of like slowly take over the garden. I was like, what is going on? Like it's so cold out here. Anyway, shout out to Brian. Thanks, mate, for the amazing graphics. Also, shout out to Kickley. You dropped another bunch of amazing bits of art. There's Snowjob on the old Battle Bear, sort of like a precursor to when he picks up Blizzard and they go take out all those snow serpents that we showed off last week.
Or maybe this is after that.
Yeah, maybe he's lost Blizzard or Iceberg.
Iceberg. He tumbled. Iceberg just tumbled off. But he's fine.
He's laying in a pile of dead snow serpent bodies right now. That's what's happening. And then, of course, cross country on his Havoc with Falcon in the background there. And I'm going to say Rock and Roll driving the other one. Would you agree with that one, Pat? Do you think that's Rock and Roll V1?
Driving the other one?
Yeah, in the background.
Maybe. I don't really know. I mean, it's not green.
No, but it's almost like just black in the distance because they haven't.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Anyway, I'd just throw it out. It could be anything. It looks like he's got a beard. He's got a helmet. Close enough. But that's awesome. Again, kind of slightly related to the Havoc image that he drew on the last one that we showed off last time. So massive shout out to Kickley for the amazing artwork. And big shout out to Travis, who's been in the comments today as well, of course, from A Toy Kind of Mood. I will be joining them tomorrow on their kind of like their chat about, the fan stream and everything, and I'll talk through it. So I'm going to be on that one.
What time is that tomorrow?
That is, I want to say 8 p.m. EST. Is that right, Travis? I believe it's 8 p.m. So 8 p.m. Eastern. I'm probably wrong. I'm probably getting that completely wrong, but I think it is. And you can check us out live, and we'll be talking about all what we've been talking about today, Pat, for 2 hours. So yeah, awesome. Yes, it is 8 p.m. EST. Thank you very much, Travis. Can't wait to do that. It's going to be fun. And that brings us to the end. Thank you very much, guys, for another stonking weekly episode. Very long one. Guess what I did again, Pat? That I'm gonna show you how the sausage is made again, and I'm gonna admit to not changing the bloody last slide to match the new graphics.
Oops.
So we've got the fall weekly design against Bushido. It goes nicely. It still works. It's fine, but that's me just getting it wrong. Anyway. Thank you so much for jumping on this one again, Pat. Really appreciate it, buddy.
Yeah, thanks for having me. As always, I appreciate it.
Of course, man. And of course, shout out to all our fans watching, viewing, listening, enjoying, and everyone in the comments, and all our patrons as well. Thank you so much. I've got an Intel coming up very soon. So apologies, it's just been difficult to get the time, but there will be one hopefully this weekend. I'll let you know. Right. Thank you so much, guys. It's been a pleasure. Stay fresh, cheese bags. And after 3, you know what to do. 1, 2, 3.
Full force.
Laters.
Make sure you get involved with the discussion by liking, sharing and commenting on these videos, and as always you can keep up with the show after listening by following on X, formerly Twitter, @TheFullForce, liking the Facebook page, facebook.com/TheFullForce. We've also added a brand new Instagram, so check us out there as well @TheFullForce Podcast, and if you would like to contact the show you can message us on any of those platforms with feedback and questions. We also have a Patreon page, so if you want to show your support for the show, see your name up in lights on these videos, or enjoy exclusive bonus content, then check out patreon.com/TheFullForce Podcast, or click on the link on any of the posts this podcast appears in. Full Force.